Browning, and I'm with the Herbarium at the University of South Carolina. I'm assistant curator for the herbarium there. I'm presenting an unexpected journey into invertebrate data from herbarium specimens, a portal to cross-disciplinary integrated data through the herbarium. This was kind of a pet project of mine over the past 2 years. It started when I was processing our algae collection, and I noticed that several specimens had these little invertebrates tangled along in the material. And so this started as like a neat anecdote, but I realized that this is a really great example of extended specimen data, and it provides more information about the main collection. So even as accidental or incidental bycatch, this is useful information that tells us more about the relationship between the primary botanical specimen collection and the secondary associated vertebrate collection. I wanted to just make sure that this information is there and it's available. So in this protocol, we start by taking a picture. We put a specimen under our microscope. We use a Leica S9i. We image it and add a little scale bar, the imaging date, the collector name and number, collection date, and the organization or herbarium that the specimen is from. So this helps us keep track of all the invertebrates and inclusions and what specimen they are associated with. And I do want to note that the usefulness of including the herbarium or the organization housing the specimen is to keep duplicates in mind. So collectors will often collect duplicate botanical specimens, and all those species are going to be the same. The invertebrates on them might vary both in the sense of presence and preservation, as well as species. So keeping a log of the exact specimen they were found on keeps it so you can come back to that information. So after that, we add these images to iNaturalist with a short description, and it links to the specimen record in the online portal for us, that's CERNAC, or algae portal for imaging. If you're not familiar with iNaturalist, that's a local community site where you can post observations and where citizen science is supposed to assist in determinations and discussions in a community form. If we know of individual experts, we can also send the information on to them so that they can weigh in as well. We typically consider the species as having a consensus when it reaches research grade on iNaturalist. So that's when 2/3 of the species identifiers in the iNaturalist community undergo determinations for a species level ID or when there's an ID between the family and a species if those aren't quite disseminated. We append its determination as well if we have sent off a request to an expert and they've gotten back to us. So once we have this consensus, we then add an annotation label to the herbarium special sheet to make sure this is included. And we also add the occurrence status to the online record, which links back to the iNaturalist. If you're in CERNAC, you can find this under the linked resources area. So this then creates a link between both the original herbarium specimen and the invertebrate record. I have even found these invertebrates on collections I've made, like this one here, Skibo goat pond. But I am by far hardly the first to kind of notice this link between herbarium specimens and this sort of hidden data. Emily Meineke has done a really fantastic review on how herbarium specimens can be used in a huge variety of research. So these are just a few more publications. But I think that this is something that becomes really eye-opening, as in a herbarium might not be the first place that you would think of looking for data to support your research on something like PCR amplification of the Irish potato family pathogen, or heavy metal contamination in Rhode Island, or finding indicator species to monitor climate change. So we don't really know how much data can be found in all the ways that it's going to be useful in other applications, but it's really exciting that there's this whole plethora of knowledge that can be found beyond the herbarium specimen, including much that we individually might not be experts on, but we might learn more about by making this information this is like little breadcrumbs for what's going on in the ecosystem. So creation of postings like this one, and hopefully more follow, help to make sure that this data is captured and included in the herbarium records for further research and investigations into botany and beyond.